this. Um, I'm on my little laptop gadget thing, and the beauty of this thing is I can use this microphone and I can talk really quietly because it's what, 11:30 England, roughly 11:30 at night, and I'm in a block of flats. And when I use my standard video camera, it's got no microphone on it, so I have to talk. I can't have the camera right up to my head like this, because you gotta look at my ugly face. But um, I've got to kind of shout across the room so the microphone picks me up on my video camera. So I'm using this little laptop gadget with me super headphone mic. And I thought it's been a while, and if you can hear any noise in the background, it's my TV, watching Sky News, or rather making observations on the free Sky News, not the one you got to pay for. Kidding, they wouldn't pay for Rupert Murdoch. Well, it's Rupert Murdoch and Jerry Hall now, isn't it? Anyhow, it's nice and cosy, and I've got a cup of tea, and I thought my speech. It's been a while. I've been putting some musical uploads up, and just generally enjoying myself playing some sounds and that And I thought it's been a long time since I did one of me epic speeches So I've used this gadget a couple of times and it didn't record properly, and I'm a bit reluctant about talking for hours, just in case I press the stop button and it doesn't. I don't know, what it's like. But I thought I'd do a little speech today, and I don't know. I've got a couple of strange issues to bring up. No, I'm not doing a hand signal. I've got an itchy face. It was them. They made me itch. It was them. They made me itch, and then they made me scratch my face. So yeah, I'm in a good mood. I thought time for a speech, and I'll try and get uploaded tomorrow. Before I do anything, I'll take my gum, so you don't have to hear that noise. Take my chewing gum out Okay. So let's get on with it like I say, it's roughly 25 to 12 midnight, 25 to midnight in the UK on the, if you had a date check, it's the 28th of March, Monday, the 28th of March, 2016. Hi there out there to all my American viewers, and it's great to have you around. I really like your responses out there, and I'm really grateful that you're watching me. And hi there out there to my Canadian viewers. And it's been a really great day today. Things have been really exciting. I bought a new pair of socks, and I just thought I'd let you know in the Canadian style. And g'day, folks. How you doing out there? Whatcha, you flaming dingoes? How you doing out there to all my Australian mates? Anyway, tonight's speech, if I can get on with it, and try and do it quietly, that's why I've got this on, there's all my notes there. Look at that, look what I have to do to, kind of speak, but anyway, this speech has been a long time in the making, basically because I thought who isn't a targeted individual these days? You know what I mean? It's not about like finding out who's a targeted individual. It's like trying to spot who isn't a targeted individual, isn't it? Right. But on the issue of that, right? I was watching some heavy duty people on YouTube who were, sharing advice about targeted individual and stuff like that. If you are a targeted individual, things you should do and so forth. And I always had a suspicion that something wasn't right in my life, or I felt a bit like, something wasn't right, paranoid, the system's against me, the Freemasons are trying to kill me, whatever it was, yeah, but I'd never in a million years think it was an arranged thing, that being targeted was actually a technique practiced by these guys, like, or whatever, right? And sure enough, I sort of realised I'm a targeted individual, yeah, right? Because it is bloody, it's deep, isn't it, how far it goes with certain people, how far it goes, like. And first word of advice, right, to people out there, if you are a targeted individual, right, listen to this speech, and I'll give some, like, advice, or off me head, no, try just off me mind, try and work things out. I'll sort of wing this speech. It's a lot of complicated issues and little matters that I want to go into, like. But anyway, as I've slowly but sure, I'm not being trendy. I'm not being YouTube trendy and all that. Like, I started realising, bloody hell, I'm a targeted individual, And it's blatantly obvious why, isn't it? If anyone's followed my channel or listened to some of the things I've said on my old channel, especially some of the videos. If you guys, any of you out there who watched any of my videos on my old channel, which was called King Bruno the Gaul, those speeches don't exist anymore. I erased them off my hard drive and all that, like, because they were taking up too much space, if you know what I mean. And I closed down that channel. So it's like sacred knowledge. Most of it's like, you can't buy it, you know what I mean? It's not in books or nothing. And I spoke about things that you can't really pay for or find. Sharing my own insights and that, like. But these days, I think back then I did enough really to kind of get, as long as I got the message out and 2 or 3 people on the planet listened and gave me a bit of feedback, that was my job done. It was like, someone else has got the information now, they can tell their friends or whatever, like. Well, anyway, this is in particular about targeted individuals, right? Where do I begin? Um, where does being a targeted individual start? Why does it happen? And so forth. Is it because they don't like the look of us? Do they look at us and think he just hasn't got, like the Nazis would look at, like, coloured people or Jewish people, where they go, they haven't got the perfect face, their cheekbones are not right, their legs are not perfect, their eyes are not blue, they are aliens. No, like, it's a bit like that, really, isn't it? It's a bit like the way the Nazis used to label people as outsiders and stuff, like, if they didn't have the same test tube equalities and whatever, made in test tubes. It's going to be quite witty, this, to be honest. Don't worry, guys, I'm not intoxicated. I'm just drinking tea. Oh, is this cup amazing, guys? Big shout out for me friend, the Tiger. Big shout to my friend Tiger, the Tiger. I love animals, I love wildlife. You know what I mean? Well, anyway, big shout to me friend Tiger out there, man. Hope you're doing good. How's it going in Bengal, mate? The handle's rubbing on the microphone. Okay, guys, I don't know where to start here. I'll try. I don't know how much space this. I've got quite a lot of gigabytes on the memory card, but Say this speech lasts for 3 hours, like, are you prepared? Are you prepared to sit and watch me talking for 3 hours? Because you know me, once I start talking, guys, whew, ain't nothing gonna stop me, man. But anyway, I'm only 10 minutes has gone already and I've said sweet bloody nothing, like. But TI, right? Where does it start? Where do you think to yourself, I could be a TI or I've been controlled? Well, there's my first clue, right? Now, I, 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 I'm not being paranoid. I've got paranoid psychosis, yeah. But I'm not being paranoid. Paranoid psychosis, that's another speech in the future that I've got to do. Like, what is paranoid psychosis and how does it affect a person like me, like, and all that, like. But I'm not paranoid. Paranoid is where you actually, you just can't get on with life. You think, there's someone's trying to kill me, or, you know, someone's watching me, looking at it, that fella over there is looking at me, like, that's just blatant paranoia, right? But when you're a targeted individual, right, your suspicions are usually correct. But it makes you feel like you're paranoid, doesn't it? But anyway, this is my first thing. I'm just going to move my lamp to try and sort of show you something, like. Did you see anything strange about my head, like? Apart from my face and that, like. Trying to get it, like, just right, like. You can't really see it in this light, I'm say, like, but you see that? You know what I mean? I know, like, it's like a little fine line there, right? There, and there might be one there. It's not as a thing, like, but it, it you know, I've actually said it to people who've themselves got one of these. Can you see it now as I move? As a look, like a look at the cut of it squash my skin. You can clearly see there's a line there like that, right? And there's one there, like, right. I've got photos of me as a kid and stuff like that, or as a teenager, and they weren't there, like, But what that tells me, mate, it's not it's not something to be afraid of or ashamed of or whatever, like. But if some people take a look at themselves in the mirror and they see that telltale fine line, like, you gotta tell yourself this, like, you've been operated on, guys. You know what I mean? They only say they put chips in us and stuff like that, man. I, I could have an explosive charge put in there for, like, something. I know there's somewhere in my life. I've never been in hospital. I've never been operated on. I've never had an official. This is what a cool dude I am, guys. I'm 51 now, and I've never been in hospital or had to stay in hospital. Praise the Lord God Almighty. It's just been brilliant in that sense. I've had an amazing life in that sense. I'm quite resilient to illnesses and stuff like that, especially nowadays, and I've dropped certain foods and stuff, like. But I've had some serious injuries, man, but never had to go to hospital. Right, but how the fuck, pardon me French, guys, you know me, I'll just say it the way it is, like, but how on earth have I got scars on my head if I've, like, never had a tumour removed or something like that? Or, but what that reminds me of, right, is, have you ever seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? And you see Jack Nicholson at the end of the movie, he's had he's got a horseshoe skate, it's a bit more blatantly obvious because he's in an asylum, folks, you get me, the part he's playing anyway. So it's like this big horseshoe shaped scar on his head, and he's like that for the rest of the movie once he's been done in it. He's a zombie, like. Which tells us something, that these asylums, these medical professions, in inverted commas, medical, you know, medical experts, They could do all kinds of things to us, yeah, and we wouldn't know it. You know what I mean? We could be hypnotised, anaesthetised, you know. And this is why mind control and stuff like that is such a like sketchy issue. If they can get to us, if that can be done to me, and I could, I suspect, you know, when there you see John F. Kennedy getting his head blown off, it doesn't look like a bullet's going through his head. It looks like he's got some kind of charge implanted in his head. You know what I mean? And they just go, if this guy's out of line, like, you know, flick, activate the bug, like, you know, it'd be a very simple way to do it, isn't it? Because I'm a witness, guys. I'm actually sitting there telling you straight that, look, that is not a crease from when I go to sleep in bed. You know what I mean? When I'm on the pillow like that. So I get up in the morning, like, it's like, oh yeah, there's a crease now, you know. You know, I'm not a bloody white shirt. You know what I mean? That's skin and bone, like. And that thing there, man, and I've even said to people, like, you know, I said, you've got a scar on your head as well, like, you've got one as well. And you know what the first thing is they do is they go, don't be so upset, how can you, I haven't got a scar on my head. It's a crease when I fall asleep. I'm like, yeah, right, everyone's got a crease, like, look at it. Someone's operated on me, man. But I have not signed any papers, right? Or anything like that. I've not consented to people and say, yeah, operate, man, it's a life-saving operation, take the tumour out, or, you know, I've never done anything like that. If you don't consent, who's going around operating on people, man? Which leads me to conclude, like, you know, when they say they get some of these targeted individuals, the heavy-duty Americans and stuff, like, they're usually ex-forces, most of them, aren't they? Or they work for the government or something like that, yeah. And, they're saying they put chips in me there and chips in me here. I've got a chip in me, I know there's one on me back. Well, I ain't no targeted individual, man. Fuck that targeted individual shit. But anyway, let's carry on, like, but I don't know if you guys can see that. What do you think? You know, any of us, take a look at yourselves in the mirror and say to yourselves, have I been operated on and no one said nothing? I've got other scars on my body as well, which I won't show, like, you know, which are a bit strange, that I don't know anything about, like. So that's one way that they can get to us. They can operate on us. Now, that tells me if they can do that kind of thing to us and we don't even know it's happening, and we don't have a recovery process waking up in a bed, you know, I don't remember having a bandage there, like, and going, oh yeah, it's, you know, the stitches are going great and that, like. No, I mean, there's obviously some points in our lives where we ain't got a fucking clue what's going on, like. What I call the hidden 3 degrees of Freemasonry, right, guys, yeah? Right, remember the band called the 3 Degrees? They were like 3 black chicks, and Prince Charles was really into them, like. I don't know if he got to bang them or like, but it was a well-known fact. Like, it's like, oh, Prince Charles got a soft spot for the 3 Degrees, you know. Obviously, he's a Freemason, and he's like Freemasonic, like the 3 Degrees, you know, the 3 women, like the femme fatales, like the women sent by Freemasons to steal our souls. Not our souls as in bumholes, but the souls of men, like, you know, like in Eyes Wide Shut, like, Red Cloak says to the chicks, like, go on, go around and fuck whoever you want, like, or make sure you get the souls. It's something like that kind of deal, anyway. But what this made me think is that I've been operated on. I don't remember it happening. I remember having all kinds of grief where I was having flashbacks and stuff, and like all kinds. I think, like, you know, like in the Highlander where he says, like, the quickening. You know, it's a bit like that in real life for me. Like, I went through this dreadful period of like, what the fuck's going on? Where's all this information come from? Why am flashbacks and stuff? No one told me anything about that. Right. This is what this targeted individual business is all about, guys. It's about using you to smear campaign you as well. Like, do you understand what these guys are capable of? These Freemasons and people, like, they can use you to smear campaign you, or say, for example, say I live in a community where I'm surrounded by a load of drug dealers and stuff like that. They make the drug dealers think you're a copper or an agent or a detective or something, like. Do you get me? Like, they'll, which I'll go into later. I've got evidence and stuff to talk about on the issue regarding me being put in uniforms. I'm not even told about it. Like, I mean, if they can do that, I don't know what the fuck they done to me head. Like, I don't know what they put in my brain. Like, all I know is I went a bit mad for a while and I had some really difficult psychological issues. If it wasn't for the Almighty God, right? I'm not being corny or religious. I would be like a child lost in a swamp, basically, if it wasn't for what I witnessed for myself from the Holy Spirit. Which wasn't a dude in a church. It wasn't like, the artist's impression in the Mormon book, like, of Jesus. That's another story, isn't it? But anyway, the Mormon Jesus or something like that. It was the real Holy Spirit I witnessed, like. But he told me everything, he was telling me everything and told me all these things. And at the time, obviously, I was in the same way. Where you're in denial, thinking, nah, I'm so proud, I'm a tough man, I know everything, no one can do that to me. You know what I mean? It's just full of self-pride, like. No one can operate on me, no one can put a chip in me, I punch their heads in. Yeah, when you're lying on the bed and anaesthetised with a load of shady doctors and nurses around you, like, then you all your pride falls to the ground, like. I know it's a bit boring, this, guys, but I want to be casual about it, like. And anyway, so I was thinking to myself, okay, let's just accept I could be a targeted individual. Where does it start and why? And it starts in school. You see, like, you're sitting in the classroom and you make certain observations or you say certain things that, like, them teachers are going to think, he's a bit dodgy, isn't he? Or she's a bit dodgy. That's not like we want them to be, is it? That's when they start focusing on you, like. Now, check out my speeches on my channel, on this channel, like, about drugs. They're called Drugs Part 1, Part 2. I can't remember how many parts I've gone into, but I'm not being like a guy telling people, like, how to make drugs or what drugs do to you. I'm talking about, like, completely off the wall observations that no one else has spotted about the indoctrination in school, where they get us used to a system, a reward system, that if we're good, they open the sweets in and they give us sweeties. Right, but we're not allowed to eat sweets in school. Right, and as you become an adult, it's drugs. Instead of sweets, it's drugs. And if you're good, you can do whatever you want. You can stick needles in your arm and everything, no one will turn a hair, like. But if you're not going along with the system, every time you try and do a drug, you'll be arrested or searched or thrown into a cell. They arrange it so that you're either, and it ends up to the point where you think, I don't even want to risk getting off my head anymore, because I'll probably end up in a cell, like. If you're a targeted individual, that is. So I went back into my mind and thought, like, where did this all start? I'm just looking at my notes, I can't believe how funny it is, really, like. But, I, if school was totally fair, guys, I'd have a different outlook to it. I'd be, like, sticking up for it and things and saying, and I did enjoy my childhood in school, like, but little did I know what was going on. You know what I mean? I didn't realise I was being, like, pulled aside, so to speak, from a very early age. And I think one of my main reasons was I used to be, I showed artistic abilities from an early age, and I could draw pictures quite good, and I just stuck out like a sore thumb compared to the other kids in the classroom. I wasn't really good academically. You know what I mean? I wasn't academically brilliant or anything like that. I could do the work, but as an artist, compared to all the other kids, I stuck out like a sore thumb. And it's as though the system spots it straight away. It's as though they see it like they think, he's a potential money maker, but we've got to have control. Like if I ever signed a record deal and I was in the record industry, or I was Rolf Harris painting the Queen. Sorry about that, guys. I had to get that one in. You know, Rolf Harris, who painted the Queen, the Queen's portrait. Like, turns out to be a dirty old man, like, but you know, well, Queen wouldn't know about it, would she? Fuck no, give over. But anyway, alright, school. Just read me notes here, like, right now. It starts in school, guys, right? Um, um, in particular, like primary school, middle school. I actually loved my middle school. It was like kind of really, it was fair, and I really enjoyed it. So I didn't seem to get much of a problem there. Like, so when I got to secondary school, you know, high school as we call it in America, you call it high school. What we call secondary school in this country, right? And the thing was, when I got to that school, right, for the first time in our lives, we were told to do homework. And I don't know about any of you guys out there, but I just could not. I mean, I've recently been thinking I might have Asperger's syndrome or a form of autism or something, right? That I don't know, some kind of mental condition, because I was so adamant that I didn't want to do something. If I said it in my head, I'm not getting into doing homework. Man, I got into so much trouble in school because of refusal to do my homework. I didn't actually say to them, look, I'm not doing my homework, fuck off, you know what I mean? I was like, I pretend I'm going to do my homework and I just won't do it. And then tomorrow I'll face the music, like. And the worst thing about it was, if you got, you know, you know, when I first started in that school, I immediately, the friend I started knocking around with, like, he was quite academically driven, if you like. And we'd say, oh, I'll meet you, you know, after school, I'll come and see you, like, you know what I mean? And I'd get home from school, and I'd just get straight, take my uniform off, you know, your uniform, blazer and tie and all that stuff, like. And I'd put my clothes on for me scruff, like, and then straight out the door, have me tea, you know what I mean, have me munch. Straight out the door, it's playtime, man. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever, time to go and get drunk, or time to go and steal apples or something, like. And I'd be out the door, like, as fast as I could, like, you know what I mean? You just couldn't keep me in when I was younger, like, I was always out, like. And I'd get to my mate's house, like, and he'd be sitting there doing his homework. I'd say, come on, let's go, like, you know, hold on, Bruce, I'm just finishing my homework, and I, like, I'd say, and then he'd say, haven't you done yours? Like, nah. But he ended up getting promoted and staying in the higher class, and I got demoted. You see, we got separated in life, basically. This is where the divisions, you start seeing the divisions. Don't get me wrong, he was a good lad and everything. I'm not saying there was any difference or anything, like, it wasn't anything to do with him. But you start seeing it in school, the, the signs of maybe targeted individual. I don't know if it goes back to, like, the 80s when I was a kid. Hold on. But anyway, this is the point I'm making about the mind control and the way the school teachers, they don't tell us everything. It's almost like what I got from my school days was like they were almost like a military organisation, like a really, like, top-notch, like, almost extraterrestrial was the way I got it in this school, like, where I thought, wow, this, like, I'm supposed to be free when I'm at home, when I'm in my house, when I'm in my family. I'm supposed to be able to do what I want. But the the way they get us is by telling us to do homework, you see. Because we carry a load of books home with us that are from school. We sit in our private quarters, in our living rooms, or bedrooms, or whatever, and we're doing our homework right now. Then we close them books and we carry them back to school the next morning. So they've literally got this, like, it's like the equivalent of having an electronic wire into our private lives, if you know what I mean, and in our creativity, and in our one of the consciousness, left side or right side consciousness, by telling us to do homework. You see, now I failed in school because of it. I failed everything. I would not revise for exams, and I wouldn't do my homework. I ended up being sent to the headmaster, getting the cane or getting detention almost every night. I was either on detention for being late in the morning as a result of getting back late and playing out all, till as late as I could. Maybe having to do my homework at the end of the night instead of when I first got home from school. A lot of problems accumulated with homework with me before anything else, like. And being late in the mornings, like going to school, like. But what was weird was, right, so in mathematics, right, this is what made, this is all, wasn't in my brain back then, obviously, but it all came back to me recently when I was thinking about, like, thinking of targeted individuals and how can they get into our lives when we're only, like, 15 years old, 14 years old. And the homework thing was a bit of a giveaway to me, like. And when I did mathematics, right, I was quite good. I wasn't a div. I was in like the second. We used to have like 4 or 5 classes of levels of mathematics, and there was the top group, and I was always in the second group in mathematics. It was quite a high level of education, really. And we were doing logarithms and long division and long multiplication, base numbers, primary numbers, equations, everything, cosine, sine. I did all kinds of shit that I just, for the life of me, would never have used, ever, period. So in my head, being the kind of, I thought I had in hindsight, some kind of autism or something. I just wouldn't do the work, man. And I'd sit in the classroom, right, in mathematics, and the teacher would be walking around the classroom as they do, like, silently. And there'd be a blackboard, and he'd put the work on the blackboard, and we'd have a book in front of us, and that book we'd have to take home that night and finish off for homework. The stuff we're doing in the bloody classroom all day, like, we'd have to take it home and carry it on, like, which was my little objection, right. And my state of mind was such that, like, whatever work you put on the board or whatever we were told to do, right, I'd try and get into it. But I had this brain block. It was like a mental block. I think it was a kind of autism or Asperger's. In hindsight, I'm thinking to myself, it sounds to me, when I've looked at other people with Asperger's now, it sounds to me that might be the condition I had, like, that wouldn't allow me to do fractions. I hated doing fractions, right, and I hated doing percentages. I just could not allow I could be a brilliant artist, I could do, all kinds of mathematics and things, right. For the life of me, when I got to percentages and fractions, I'd be like sitting there, like, silently, like, pretending I was doing the work and that, like, and the teacher would be walking around the room, and I'd be thinking, hope he doesn't look over my shoulder and see the blank page, like, with just the date at the top, like. It was a proper worry, you know what I mean? It'd be like a nerve-wracking thing, because you see the scar there, like, probably the maths teacher done that to me, like. But anyway, right. During those lessons, I used to sit down and think, I can't do it. My head would just, like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but my brain is saying to me, no, Bruce, you don't have to do that. That's not something in my head wouldn't allow me to put it into my mind. Maybe that's why they did that, like, they probably spoon-fed it into my brain or something, like. But what was really crazy, right, right, I used to take me homework home, me book home, right? And if me elder sister was cleverer than me, right? If she's watching, she'll, hey, how's it going? When are you okay? But like, she remember this, like, that if she was awake, and I was like, I had my homework to do for mathematics, right? I would say I've got these things here when they're like I don't know, long division or whatever it was, like I say, you any good with these? Like, and she'd say, yeah, I can do that, like, dead easy, like. So I'd give her the book and that, like, and she'd do my homework for me, like, sometimes, which I could hand in the next morning and not get into trouble, right? But what's weird, right, is I wasn't going to tell the teacher that, was I? I wasn't going to say to me maths teacher, like, here's my homework, sir, and my sister done that for me, like, right? In fact, I wasn't going to tell anyone, was I? I get into school and just keep my fucking mouth shut, yeah. Because you know what it's like in school, some kids can kind of blow you up, can't they, and all that, like, you know what it's like. Some of the kids are in on it, like, they're like teams, they work with, they're like, like teacher's pet kind of thing, and someone was gathering information on us, right? So, like, we were subjects or animals in a zoo or something, like, or soldiers or something or whatever, like, which I'll go into later about being put into uniforms without being told, guys, you know what I mean? Without consent. Which is, it's mind control, man. Mind control as my scar, like, shows up, like. But anyway, right, I never ever went into school and said to me maths teacher, yeah, my sister helps me do my homework sometimes, like, or the nights when my sister was in bed and that, like, I'll just leave the page blank, I'll just hand it in blank, and the teacher would say, why haven't you done your homework? And I'll be like, I had no excuse, basically, like, I had a stomach ache or something, I had a headache, and they say, like, detention 4 o'clock. I'm like, oh shit, not again. I mean, I was on detention, what? Well, do you know what I mean? I was on detention all the time. Like, I've got a few stories to tell about that. Like, you know what I mean? I did speak about one incident in that school where the teacher, even after I pissed me pants in a fucking hall full of kids, like, I had to stack up a load of chairs, but that's another story, yeah, right? I've already spoken on my old channel about that, like, but some horrible things that made me go anti-system, like, do you get me? Like, anti-establishment and anti-system. But anyway, I need to go to the toilet, man. But anyhow, I'll try and finish off this point and I'll put the pause on and I'll upload these speeches in parts if I can, like. But, this one incident, right, bear in mind I was not going to tell the teacher I did my homework, my sister did my homework. Do you understand? Obviously, who would be fool enough to tell the teacher, like, right? But the question is, how would they know if someone else was doing your homework for you? Unless they were spying on you, right? Or when you took them books home, they had this, like, system of watching us, but they can't give the game away and tell us, can they? They can't say, oh yeah, did you enjoy your beans on toast last night, Bruce? And say, how do you know I had beans on toast? So, don't go and give the game away, do they, like? But here's my evidence, like, that there's some kind of observation going on, like, even in our private time, when we're supposed to be in our private time, folks, with our parents or whatever, like, is in one particular day, it was in mathematics, right? And we were doing, of all things, now this proves I've got a kind of, I'm not putting myself, bigging myself up, but I must have one of them kind of genius brains where you kind of like, I can do complicated artwork and stuff like that and all that, like, but some simple mathematical things like fractions and percentages especially, I have a hard time with, like, I don't know why, like, I suppose I don't like splitting things up, innit? It's all or nothing, innit, or 50-50, you know what I mean? Well, anyway, this one particular day we're in the classroom, right, and the usual routine was I'd sit there with a blank piece of paper in front of me, and I didn't do any work, as I said before. I just kind of hope the teacher wouldn't look over my shoulder and hope I could make it home for the night, like. get, and I haven't done any work in an hour sitting in that mathematics room, like, you know what I mean? And usually I'd get away with it, like, I'd be able to get out the room with them and he didn't notice, I'd get my sister to do my homework or whatever, like. But anyway, this particular day, the teacher is doing equations. Of all things, equations are, Einstein and all that stuff, like. And it was quite complicated. It wasn't just like, A plus B equals C. I'm talking about like the higher stage of equations, you know what I mean, where you put like 3 dots on the blackboard that says therefore, that kind of equation, like, you know what I mean. Which I haven't carried it on, I haven't pursued that world, like, you know what I mean. But that particular day, I was like Archimedes. I was like Archimedes in the classroom, and I still, for the life of me, cannot explain it, because everything the teacher put on the board, I was like, whoa man, that's easy. This is easy. It was as though I had X-ray vision doing equations, and it was like the only time I can ever remember me like breezing through the day's work and finishing everything in my book and everything, and like closing the book and thinking, wow, I'm all prepared for homework tonight. Do you know what I mean? Equations of all things, man. So I goes home that night, and like I said, I'm not faking it, I'm not pretending. I'm saying to myself, this is so easy. I'm just going to enjoy doing homework now, like. And I got in straight away. I did it like, I either waited till I got home that night or I did it straight away. But all I know is I went like, whoosh, did every fucking problem that the teacher would give us. That's like, just like water off a duck's back. And I finished me homework thinking, I can't believe it. I'm going to actually hand in my homework for myself. And I might get some right and some wrong, like, but, it's just, it was like an epoch. It was like, the first man on the moon and all that to me. It was like something really mad, like, you know what I mean? So I get back to school the next day, hands me book in, and then it comes to the mathematics lesson that day, like. And the teacher, he was actually one of the year masters, the mathematics teacher. I won't say any names and that, like. And I never gave this guy grief or any harassment or cheek or anything like that. Yeah, I was actually, quite respectful in his classroom, if you know what I mean. But with those problems with homework and me mental block issues, like. But anyway, he's walking around the classroom that morning, and he's like, he got this weird look on his face, and he goes, okay, everyone handed the homework in this morning. And he's walking around looking at all of us like, like. And there were lads in that classroom that were much cleverer than me, guys, you know what I mean, when it came to all the other mathematical things and, all the other stuff. They would be doing their homework all the time, and they were always getting top marks or in exams. I used to fail exams because I wouldn't revise, do you know what I mean? Anything to do with my private time, I just couldn't give it up to them, do you know what I mean? So I'd fail everything, like, basically, because I was like, this is my private life. What I do at school is to school, innit? But anyway, I goes into this day, he's walking around the classroom, the teacher, and he's like this kind of thing, he's like, everyone handed the homework in, like. And what was really strange is only one lad in the classroom got 10 out of 10. And I'm just sitting there thinking, well, it's not going to be me, is it? Because all the other kids, there was some real brainy kids in that classroom, yeah. And he goes, and what's really surprising is, it was Willie Iams. My name's Williams, you know what I mean? And he used to call me Willie Iams, like. And it's like, it's Willie Iams. Got 10 out of 10 doing equations. And I wasn't surprised to hear him say it. I was a bit like gobsmacked in the thought, like, wow, none of the other kids got 10 out of 10 or the same amount of points as me, and like they're all cleverer than me, like. but I was Archimedes that day, if you know what I mean, like. Right. So I'm sitting there thinking, whoa, I was like, just hearing him say I got 10 out of 10 in my homework, I was like, whew, I must be a genius, I must be like Archimedes, like 10 out of 10 in equations. Right. But what really gave the game away for me is he looked at me, and obviously, like the boy who cried wolf, I could have said, like, well, I could have cheated, you know what I mean? I might not have done it, like, obviously, because all the other times I'd do it, like, get someone else to do my homework. But what gave the game away, right, is he was walking around going, and I find that really difficult to comprehend. And then he looks at me and goes, and are you sure your sister didn't do it for you, Bruce? And I was like, no, sir, I did it myself. Which I actually did, which was quite a peculiar thing for me, like. But the point is, I went like, hang on, how does he know my sister does my homework for me from time to time? Do you know what I mean? It's like light bulb above my head went ding. It's like, hold on, I didn't tell him my sister does my homework. But because I got 10 out of 10, he naturally assumed that it was like, wasn't me that did it, like. And, all the other kids failing, like, it was like, my sister must have done my homework for me, like. But I was like thinking, how the fuck does he know my sister does my homework? Sometimes. Unless he's like a handwriting expert or something, like, the way I do number twos or number threes or something, or like different. How's he gonna know me what my sister's handwriting's like, or whatever? Right. But I certainly wasn't gonna tell him, was I? Right, which made me think to myself, for the first time in that school, I thought, did they watch us and monitor us when we're at home? I can't believe this, man. We're supposed to be private, like. But anyway, that's one point I'm giving to you about, and I genuinely did get 10 out of 10. And for some strange reason, I was a genius at the equations, like, I was Archimedes, like. Quite, quite proud of myself, but still rejected mathematics as I got older. I still didn't give a fuck, like. But anyway, I'll just leave you with that point before I put the pause on, like, and see if the video's recording. I'll do this in little parts, like, you know what I mean? Well, this is part one of my targeted individual. I've got so much to say, guys, to kind of, but what I'm saying to you, this is my first point, is how they monitor us in our private lives, our own, you know. The guy knew my sister did my homework, so that got alarm bells ringing in my head. As I say, like, nah, there's something not right there. Anyway, I'll put the pause on and put the stop on. So that's part one of this targeted individual thing. Got a lot more to say, guys. If I post this part before I record anything else, please comment, say something if you want me to continue with the speech and about the subject matter, because I've got some deep shit to talk about, like. But yeah, until later, I'll see you later.